It's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness with breaking news and analysis that you're not going to get anywhere else. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. For 6 weeks, the nation has been watching a literal blitzkrieg of thousands of ICE agents and Border Patrol taking over Minneapolis. 10,000 confirmed arrests and deportations in Minnesota alone over the course of the last year. Nearly half of those arrests and deportations happening in the last 6 weeks in this surge. Now, of course, this deportation operation hasn't been without incident. Two people, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, end up getting themselves killed while interfering with federal law enforcement operations. But with all of that, we're now seeing a number of polls come in that give us a good idea of how the American people are responding to all of this. And let's just say, if the Democrats thought this was a winning issue for them, they're in for one rude awakening. RMG, one of the single most accurate pollsters of 2024, just dropped a bombshell. After everything people have seen coming out of Minneapolis, voters approve of the Trump administration's deportation of all illegal migrants by a 10-point margin, by double digits, 52 to 42. 10 point. It's an election. If it were an election, that would be called a blowout. That would be a landslide. But that is nothing compared to Mark Mitchell at Rasmussen. Again, Mark was one of the most accurate pollsters of 2024, a good friend of this channel. His polling shows a 62% approval among likely voters for Trump's program to find and deport immigrants who are here illegally. 55% want penalties on companies and corporations that hire illegals. And if you bought the legacy media's narrative that deporting illegals would cost Trump support among Latino voters, then you probably think gullible isn't in the dictionary. It's the exact opposite. Latinos love deportations. They love seeing MS-13 and TDA and drug pushers permanently kicked out of their neighborhoods. Look at these numbers. Again, this is from Rasmussen. Trump has surged among Latino voters by 30 points. He's now a +8 among Latinos, 53 to 45. We have never, ever seen a Republican with approval ratings like that among Hispanics. But we saw it spike right after the arrest of Maduro, right? The demographic that overwhelmingly supported that operation were particularly expat Venezuelans and Cubans, but Latinos in general. Trump is a hero as far as they're concerned. And just to round this all off, a recent Gallup poll found that a whopping 84% of Americans want voter ID laws enacted in all 50 states. 84%. Yeah, the feckless liberals in the Democratic Party are standing up against 84% of voters. Even CNN's Harry Enton had to admit that when it comes to border security and mass deportations, Americans are overwhelmingly on the side of Trump.
Yeah, sometimes I like blunt questions because they sort of get at the underlying feelings that people have. So this is about as blunt a question as you can get. Deport all immigrants here illegally. I will note the ABC News poll asked about undocumented immigrants. So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deporting all immigrants who are here illegally, 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is a very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters.
Listen, gang, it is flu season, which means it's also flu shot season.